Pollination. Have you wondered how beautiful flowers that we see on plants get replaced by tasty fruits? Where do the fruits come from? And where have the flowers gone? Why are flowers so brightly colored? Flowers are the reproductive structures of a plant. They help the plant reproduce sexually. Flowers contain the male and female reproductive structures. In some flowers, both male and female reproductive structures are found in the same flower, and such flowers are called bisexual flowers. Some plants bear only male flowers or only female flowers. Sometimes male and female flowers are found on the same plant. These are unisexual flowers. Let's get an overview of the reproductive parts of a flower. Male reproductive structures in a plant have stamens, which have anthers. Anthers produce a powdery material called the pollen. Pollen contains pollen grains, which are the male gametes. The female reproductive structures are collectively known as the pistil. Pistil has a sticky pollen-receptive part called the stigma. The stigma receives the pollen and transfers it to the carpel. The male gamete fertilizes the ovule in the carpel, which later develops into a fruit. So, the attachment of the pollen grains to the stigma becomes the first step in the production of fruit in a plant. Plants have several adaptations to ensure the success of this process called pollination. Pollination is a prerequisite for the sexual reproduction of seed-bearing plants. Come, let's learn much more about plants and their flowers in this module. Pollination is a process where pollen grains from the anther are transferred to the stigma, thereby enabling sexual reproduction. It results in offsprings that are genetically diverse. Pollination can be broadly divided into two main types: self-pollination and cross-pollination. When the pollen grains from an anther of a flower reach the stigma of the same flower or the stigma of a different flower on the same plant, it is called self-pollination. Catharanthus, mirabilis, the pea plants, potato plants, and viola are some plants that favor self-pollination. In cross-pollination, pollen grains from the anthers of one flower attach to the stigma of a different flower in a different plant belonging to the same species. Plants of cucurbit, papaya, cannabis, and hibiscus are some of the common examples of plants favoring cross-pollination.